Today we're talking about how a fractional marketing department can be better than hiring a whole marketing team. I'm Paula Williams.
And I'm John Lloyd.
And we are ABCI, and ABCI's mission is
to help all you folks in the aviation world sell more of your products and services.
Absolutely. So a lot of the folks that we talk to these days are having trouble finding good people and maybe having trouble rebuilding their sales or marketing team after the pandemic and getting some of those people back that they lost in the shuffle over the last 2 years or so.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're in the process of kind of putting that back together and restructuring their sales and marketing departments. So we have an article that we wrote 1 million years ago about 9 different org structures and how they work in aviation companies. And in some cases, sales is one thing, marketing is another. In some cases, they're together. In some cases, one's above the other. There's lots of different ways to do this, but you don't necessarily need a ton of people in order to do really good work, right?
Didn't realize this company was 1 million years old.
I know. It's been a long time.
But yes, you're right.
And all of that still applies. You may be in a company that is big enough that justifies having a sales team of 20 people, and if that's the case, great, or you may need a marketing team of 20 people. But most of the people that we work with don't, for one reason or another. So you do need some folks in-house performing marketing jobs or whose responsibility is to ensure the marketing side of the house. And, so there needs to be at least one person who is responsible for marketing and sales on the inside, I guess we'll put it that way, of your company. But having a fractional marketing department like ABCI as an example, there's a lot of ways that we can help aviation companies that don't necessarily want to staff up or are having trouble staffing up to the level that they were before. So 3 things about a fractional marketing department: flexibility, diverse expertise, and software, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So flexibility. In the, I would say, early 2000s, it was fashionable to have a webmaster.
Ah, yes.
They actually called them a webmaster, and this was in-house, and it was somebody that worked for you, and every time you had something that needed to change on your website, he would go write HTML code to make it happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That is no longer the case. You don't need an in-house webmaster to make simple changes to your website, especially if it was one that is designed properly so that you're able to do some of that yourself.
And using the latest technology.
Exactly. So you don't need a webmaster every single month, but every once in a while you do need a major thing done on your website. You need a new landing page. You need to change something that has gotten outdated, and you need to do an overhaul of some system that your website connects with. There are some things that you need done that are periodic rather than chronic. Acute
chronic.
rather than chronic, right? You don't need a webmaster necessarily, but you do need access to web people, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other side, sometimes you need a brochure or a catalog or something like that, but you don't need that every month.
Right.
You need some printed materials for a show that you're going to, or you need a welcome package designed, or you need something done, but you don't need that done all the time. You need it done once and you're done. Move on to the next project. So, having the flexibility to have web people, print designers, social media people, other folks that you have access to helps you get through, that flexibility of having what you need when you need it.
And if your website goes down, it should be nice to make a phone and have somebody say,
yeah,
why isn't it fixed? And typically, if you're with us, if it goes down, we've already got somebody working on it before you even know it.
Right. And before your customers know it, even more important. So,
exactly.
Right. So flexibility is one thing. Diverse expertise, we kind of hinted at this. If you hire somebody full-time in your company, that person is probably an expert at one thing or another. Sometimes they're an expert at 2 or 3 things. They may know social media really well. They may know website technology really well. They may know copywriting really well. Chances are they don't know how to set up a Google ad and how to write an article for a magazine and how to fix your website and, right? Mm-hmm. It's a little much to ask for in a unicorn, right? John and I were talking about the term unicorn. What does unicorn mean? That means somebody who can do so many different things that you can hire one person instead of 5 or 10 or whatever. There's not many unicorns out there, and they're expensive when you can find them, and usually they're kind of hard to work with. So it is much better to have access to a variety of different people through one project manager that you can task with these different things so that things get done correctly. Okay.
That's only one person to point a finger at.
Exactly. Right. And third thing is software. I love the fact that we have somebody who's working on our basement that brings his own tools. He brings a jackhammer on the days that he needs a jackhammer, and then he takes the jackhammer home. And we don't have to pay for the jackhammer. We just pay him for his time, and he includes those tools in that price that we pay for him. When he needs a fan to dry some paint and stuff, he brings in these big industrial fans and sets them up in the basement, and then he takes them home when he's done with them, and we don't have to store them, and we don't have to pay for them, and anything like that. Our marketing jobs come with their own tools. So we bring our own tools to the job site. We bring AI software to do copywriting when it's appropriate. If we need to split test 20 different ads, we'll use AI software to generate those 20 different ads and to track which of them performs best. You don't have to buy that software. You don't have to learn how to use it. You don't have to mess with it. You don't have to keep it on a computer somewhere. You don't have to update it constantly. You don't have to do any of that stuff. SEO software is notoriously expensive and has a learning curve. We use SEMrush, which I totally love, but it is very nerdy. And there is a learning curve. I've taken more SEMrush classes than I could shake a stick at. There's probably at least 6 SEMrush classes a month that I take, short or long or whatever, on different topics. So you really do want to have mechanics that bring their own tools to the job site,
Good point.
So, and also give you access to some of those things. Like Lead Feeder is software that you can use yourself. You can log into it. You can see who has access to your website. That one's an easy user-friendly tool. And you don't need to go through us to get to that. We just set it up for you, show you how to use it once, and then you're usually good to go for the rest of the time that we're working together. But some tools are not that easy. So, we run reports for you. You ask questions. We use our tools to answer those questions or to accomplish those tasks. And you don't ever need to know or care about half of the shiny objects that we mess up. That we mess with. We don't mess up. We mess with. Right?
We certainly try not to mess up.
Exactly. Except on video. We sometimes mess up on video.
Yeah.
Anyway. So those are 3 ways that a fractional marketing department can sometimes be better than hiring a whole team. So flexibility, diverse expertise, and software.
Absolutely.
All right. See you next week.
Au revoir. Ciao.
You can fly higher than the